What's going on, everybody? Hit pause here with the next part of this series, and as if you've been following along, you know I've been stuckered. Another word for saying fuckered. I have been screwed and pooed and whatever else rhymes with that. The problem is, I finally realized essentially what's happening here. Did a little test here. Every time an ant bumps into one of these guys, and I update the variables and then insert it back in, I've been getting all this crazy ass mismatching between all my indexes, right? And I'm like, what's something's going on, something's going on. Here's the answer. I'm printing the length every time an ant bumps. Okay, so I'm gonna stick one there, I'll stick one there, then I'm going to stick one here. Length should be 3. Length is 4. Now watch this. Now the length will go up by 1, but it just went up to 7, and I haven't placed a new one yet. Okay, see the length? Went from 4 to like 7. And you can see here, this didn't break, but it's usually breaking because when he goes to do the attack, I was getting this this problem here. Even though I bumped this index, I'm receiving a completely different index, and what I was seeing was I'm bumping index 5, but I'm getting index 0. And I didn't know what was going on. Well, the answer is, and it's not entirely my fault, but it is my fault. It's my fault. Insert item is wrong. I'm not supposed to use this. I'm actually supposed to use set array element. It allows you to set a specific index of an array to a given value. This will replace. This will push. This will append, or whatever happens. If there's an array with 10 elements, you insert something at 5. Whatever was at index 5 doesn't get replaced. It gets pushed to 6, and so does everything else past that. So an insert, it will add into the array, but it'll let you do it at a specific index. I forget what it's called in C++ or ActionScript or frickin' Python or whatever the hell they are. I can't remember any of them ever. I think I always call it push, and then push usually give me the ability to do it at an index or something. Whatever, that's the theory, right? There's several different ways to diddle arrays, right? Find, get, add to the end of it, add to the start of it, resize it, things like that, right? Search through it and things like that. But we're going to set array element, and we're going to see if that fixes everything. I haven't actually even tried it yet, just finally went through and looked it up. So insert, you can kiss my hairy wet nutsack. I don't know why it's wet. Target array, index, let's cheat the index, let's just grab that, item, oh you fucking asshole, hang on, now I gotta determine whether or not we do this size to fit thing. I don't think so. I don't think I want that. I don't want it, the size to fit, what does that mean? Oh, okay, if it's greater than, yeah, that's fine. So if I try to add one at 10, I only had 2 entries in there. I'm going to have 8 blank entries if I check that off. If not, I believe if I only have 2 and I try to enter it at 10, it's going to land me in at index essentially 2, which would be number 3. Okay, so, yeah. Okay. I'm going to type it out each time as punishment. Oh, fuck. Holding control to move that, and just ended up grabbing the old I could take that and that and that and by the length shouldn't change anymore. I'll go ahead and keep printing that. By the way, if it feels like I'm moving everything really slow, it's my mouse does it every once in a while. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't usually do this, but the Razer Mamba Tournament Edition is just the biggest piece of crap I have ever seen in my entire life. And it's unfortunate because the mouse quality itself, like the construction of it, the feel, the lighting effects and all that stuff is really cool. But dude, this is the buggiest turd I've ever put on any system in my life. It shuts off by itself. It moves off by itself. It just does the weirdest shit I've ever seen. And all of a sudden, whatever is going on with the profile just puts it on freaking super slow-mo mode. This Razer Synapse crap. All of a sudden, it's I can't, like, I have to move the mouse really far to get it to go this fast now. So everything's like half speed for me. It's frustrating. This, however, is safe. The reason this is safe is because this number keeps counting with each instance. And remember, I don't remove instances. I kind of still want to go back to the notion of doing that. You know, I still kind of like the idea of, you know, you killed it, you know, let's remove the instance and let's clear the data. That should actually still work. But the problem is, when I do that, like I said, you remove the instance and then you remove the data. I mean, technically they should both come out of their own arrays, so technically each array should pop back correct the same amount, but like, I don't trust that shit. I got no trust anymore. These arrays are brutal. It's tough doing it with instances like this, trying to manage each one and give it health and all that shit and have it disappear. But like I said, I really would like to have it get destroyed. I would like to clear the data list, because if the game goes on and on and on and on and on, where you're building them and they're being destroyed and building and being destroyed and building and being destroyed, I still, for no dumb reason, even though there's 5 left on the field, have 95 in this list. You know, because that's, you know, you built 100, there's 5 left, right? So, well, I got a list of 100, but only 5 of them make any difference. Sure, I'm going straight for the indices. That's the thing here. I'm going straight for the index. So it's not like I'm having to do any kind of search. So I don't think that it's necessarily performing all that bad. Doesn't this look just like something like out of like Hello Kitty? This does too. The colors here are making me want to puke. Alright, so let me think. Everything's so pastel, you know? I guess Easter's coming. Well, I don't even know if this is working yet, so let me keep going forward. So we did the set array element there. I do believe I can do insert there, because like I said, that's the master list, and for now that's fine. And then I set array element here. I love it when people walk by like my door talking to me and then just go into their room and close the door like without even, I didn't even hear anything. That somebody came by yelling something, I didn't hear a goddamn word of it. So must not be that important. Let's get a test. See, the problem is like the 3rd or 4th one that they were destroying, they were going into total glitcher mode. They couldn't figure it out. So hopefully the length doesn't grow. Length is 4, that's okay. So length should still be 4. Okay, it is, good. I think they're okay. Also notice the lack of update on the collision there when it disappeared. I'm not sure what that's all about. Updating damage for index 2, that's correct. Okay, I really, yeah, I can't push them around anymore. Well, curious what's going to happen when they have food. I think they get stuck. Oh no, he attacks. He's just got the food on him. Should I make him put the food down? It's kind of not fair that he can do that. He's a hacker. Here's another one to get through there, buddy. But it's working. I'm able to place them now, and they'll attack them as they touch them, and they move on afterwards. So everything's clearing correctly. I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to be honest. That was the answer. That was the answer. Because as you can see, when I spawn a new one, see the whole list, I have 7. They've destroyed 4 of those. About to be 5. So I have a relatively large list, but see the thing is that the reason that I went I went this way and stopped removing the lists and stuff was because of the whole thing was the whole thing was destined for destruction from the start. That's the problem. I was working with broken ass code from the very start. That's a tough one, and this is a lesson. Hopefully you guys learn it before from here before you run into it yourselves, because that was actually frustrating. There was a bunch of times where I paused it and it didn't seem like I even left, but I was gone for like 10 minutes just outside, just pacing back and forth going, damn, what the hell is going on? I don't get it. I don't know why I put so much faith in this here when I didn't read that it pushes it. You know, just because it didn't say that it does it doesn't mean it doesn't do it. I freaking knew that was going to be an issue, right? But I don't know why. I don't know. I should have read down. If I had read down here and seen this and really had that sink in, I would have gotten through this a lot quicker. But that's the lesson, right? Because I was pushing my arrays out constantly, and they were getting larger and larger and larger, and a bunch of them were all the indexes were 0, and if they weren't 0, they were like 4 or 5 back, depending on how many times the ant had bumped into it. Was it how many, you know, how far off the indexes were. So that was really, really, really devastating towards the way that the whole thing was actually supposed to work. You can see how many goddamn print screens I have floating around from all the different shit I've been trying to figure out what's going on. I finally spun it all the way around and landed on that node. And it didn't occur to me. I assumed that the node that I had there was exactly what this is doing. That's what I thought insert was. This is exactly what I was looking for. I grabbed the wrong one. But that put one right in the cornhole for real. So lesson learned. Sometime I don't know how I could have. If looking back, I swear I don't know how I would have done that any different. All of this shit was just to salvage that. All of it was try to figure out what was going wrong with them bumping into it. But it's working now in this regard. So it's a good time to for me to clean this up just a little bit. It's ugly as sin. It's terrible. This one's a little bit better. I think I can compile and get rid of that. No? Oh yeah, that's because that guy. Remember, a test spawn index, that was what I was doing, so every time I spawned it, I was, okay, what index am I spawning? And the indexes were correct and all that shit. It really was, every time the ant bumping into it. He was resetting he was adding a new piece of data instead of replacing what was there, which I was hoping it was doing. If somebody knew that from the start, I apologize, and it is one of the definite downsides to doing tutorials this way, doing them alone without putting anything out, getting any feedback along the way, or streaming live and having people pointing things out, you know, like, dude, obvious things that somebody else will see right in the beginning, because anybody who knows those two nodes is going to would probably have just spent the last 2 hours as if they had fucking Tiny's water torture slapping them in the face. And I understand, I apologize. Hopefully, you know what I might do? I might actually throw a I might actually put part of the whole thing of this part of the series as like a side video, like, hey, the ups and downs of game development, you know. I won't make it part of the series, that epic length of time that it took me to figure that out. Or, I mean, which was an hour, okay, but I consider that an epic length of time because it was one stupid thing that I couldn't get past for an hour, right? Or 2, or 3, I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't years or anything, you know, it wasn't a game breaker either. But, yeah, I'll probably split that out, or this whole section, and maybe just go over the thing after the fact. To be honest, I can actually start using these indexes now. They should actually all start lining up again, because they were supposed to. But it really doesn't matter which one I use. I really honestly don't need that index. Unless, like I said, I'm worried about if I remove the sandbag instance and I remove that index of data. Here's the question. I know that the array, the index of the data, gets pushed, gets fixed. When you remove an item, the things that are past it get pushed back. Okay, there are no such things in an array as an empty or a skipped index. Okay, it can't exist. If you have only 2 items in an 8-item array, you actually have 8 items. It's just that 6 of them are null. Okay, that's how it works. But the entry's there. The index is reserved. You can't just have 2 indexes of 0 and then the other one be like 7. It's never going to work like that. It's always going to be 0 and 1. It's a length of thing. You know, it's based on the size of the array, no matter what. I believe that's how it always is ever going to work. So I could be completely wrong on that, at least maybe the way I've described it. But when I know that I haven't, keeping that theory in mind, I've never really gotten steered too far off course. Now this was a fair ripple. You know, this was a fair wake that I got caught up in, but that's okay. I'm not upset about it. I'm not. It wasn't fun, but you know, it is part of it. And like I said, this to me, the whole thing in general, is just in basically kind of playing like a puzzle game. It really is. But I'm driving the end result. I want when I win this game, you know, this is like literally a choose your own adventure of the best kind. But you gotta be fairly smart. You gotta be able to see through spaghetti. So I'm trying to fix the spaghetti. I really don't want to go any farther forward, but at the same time, I'm kind of like now in I need to do a little bit of brainstorming, and it is a good idea to take a step back every once in a while and just think for a second. I'm gonna do that. While I do this, you guys can just fast forward past all this bullshit if you want, or skip to the next video. I don't even know if there's going to be any real progress in this video, because I just had a big ass breakthrough, to be honest with you, on that one. That was a nice relief. Not, like I said, not that it was that detrimental, but it was enough. It was enough to rattle the system, to get me like, okay, dude, you got to start. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when that kind of thing starts happening, I'm like, shit, you know, like I really got to get off the tunnel vision. I got to somehow get past, focus it, because you guys saw how many print strings and everything. I got real focused in there trying to strip it all down. I was trying to figure out exactly what was happening in every phase. Now, I wasn't actually changing the code around. The whole thing was trying to wrap my head around what was going on without changing too much. So I did just inject a whole bunch of print strings that just fed out the data, and I put appends in front of them that describe what the data was, so that when I came back to my output window and look at it, I could actually see what it was on the same line, because it gets real confusing if you're trying to print a bunch of stuff. So I always do this. I always go append, and then I'll put, like, you know, this is reading as and then put a space, you know what I'm saying, then feed it the value, and then print string that, and then afterwards you could do something like but this is, you know, this is outputting as, or something right after, and you can see if there's a screw up in your change, because that was how I knew the problem was actually at the moment of updating attacker list, because this is when they bump. The ant character gets the collision event, and that's what calls this. So it was at this moment when I was inputting from here, I was reading one index but I was getting another, and again, we know the root cause now is because the index that I'm getting is, I am getting, you know, mesh index number 4, but the real data has been pushed to index number 62, depending on how, and if I had 100 ants, it'd be like 700, you know. So that was the root problem there. But that was actually how I came around to finally coming around to solve the damn thing, because it was frustrating. So a little bit of recovery here. That's okay. I'm human, and if this kind of thing happens to you, you gotta kind of. It's tough. Just stick with it. You know, my best advice when you're totally stuck on something that's not making sense, it should be working, but it's not. You're guaranteed to have either a very simple typo. By typo, I mean just something disconnected or cross-connected or something, you know, one of them. And if there's a lot of them going on, it's very hard to find that one, trust me. The other is one of your nodes isn't doing what you think it's doing. And that's one actually the first things that you should just kind of just like update, you know, the instance transform. This wasn't actually working until I checked this, by the way. They wouldn't disappear until I check this. If I don't check this, nothing happens. Literally ever. I don't. It just never happens. So they say, you know, if you're updating many instances, you know, but in this case, no, we're pretty much doing one at a time, so we're safe. So I don't know why it's like render the state dirty. It says if it's true, the change is visible immediately. I mean, that's what I want. I don't necessarily like the notion of putting something in a dirty state, you know? Like, that doesn't sound like I'm doing the right thing, but that's what makes it work, so whatever. You know, like I said, I kind of go by what, you know, what they've all developed. And I was spawning one in the beginning just so I could test, but I'm safe now, and I actually don't need to spawn the one in the beginning. So the ants, and that is update attack list on bump collision. It's called from the ants. Clear attackers on death. So they weren't getting this because of the whole problem with the arrays. So now that they are getting it, essentially all I'm doing is I'm just getting that list and I'm telling them all to report sandbag death, which just clears all the variables that had anything to do with them having an enemy. Okay, and then tells the player controller to clear these two. I have two functions here: clear target location, clear enemy key. Okay, so there's that. Just clear value. You can do it. You have to be off of the blackboard, so make sure that you're off of a blackboard here, and then you can just type clear and then clear value, and you can feed it any key name you want and just make a literal name out of that. You can do that here. Just type make, and there it pops. Okay, type whatever you want in here. You don't need variables for this kind of thing. You can if you want, but I don't do it. And that's it. So those get cleared, and once those get sent to the blackboard, essentially this becomes untrue, and also enemy is not set anymore. So he's not, because I do use enemy, and I may be making a mistake here. I may want to use like an actual different key, like barricade, because right now it might be a little bit strange. Actually, curiosity, let's just see what happens. But I'm curious what's going to happen if I shoot one of them while he's shooting at the barricade. I think he's going to turn around and shoot it and come after me. But if he bumps into the barricade again, he should stop to attack it, which might be something I can use to my advantage or not. I'm not real sure. Alright, so we got that. And this, once he bites it once, I'll shoot him in the butt. He bit at me. Okay, he's trying to go for me. That should have been false. Get distance to less than 100 equal to 150. If not, it'll be less than 500. Okay, yeah, this is for him to lose me or not, right? It's that outer radius for breachhood while he's chasing me. But if he's under 150, he's in range. What is he looking for? The enemy key. Ah, okay. Here's the thing. I believe the enemy key is if that's me, shouldn't he clear me? Shouldn't this be boiling down to him clearing my ass? I mean, we're clearly doing this. How often? Every 1 second. I should be too far away. Oh shit, hang on, what is this? Oh yeah, target location, that's fine. Because, remember, we do the old, rotate towards a location as opposed to, an actor. But if at any moment this becomes invalid, just go ahead and finish the execute and clear all keys because something went wrong. Go back to wander, dude. Look for food again, you know? You're out of it. So, I'm trying to think, where is this? Is it just the behavior tree in general, just the sequence here that's getting me? Probably, right? Because the enemy is set, which is actually true. When I shoot him, target location does not get unset. So he's trying to shoot attacks at me, but his local enemy, though, should be me. Hang on. Chase enemy, right? When do we go into chase enemy? We don't have food and enemy is set. Okay. Here's what I think I want to do. When the ant takes a blast in the face from one of my cannons, I want him... Ant bite, take damage. When he sets the enemy target here, so he takes damage, he sets the enemy target to there. So, essentially, the other thing I want to do I kind of want to do this thing that I'm doing over here. However, I don't want to do the clear enemy key. So how about I do this? It really doesn't matter what order I do this stuff in, for the most part. Kinda, sorta, maybe a little bit, but nah, not really. These are the three things associated with sandbag aggro. Now when he kills a sandbag, I actually do want to clear the enemy target. But when I shoot him, if I clear the enemy target, he's going to forget that I shot him, right? So I don't want to do that. Which means clear sandbag aggro can be over here on take damage. Which I don't have to do that anymore. Good, that's what I thought I was doing. Expecting to see. Sometimes I like to just be like, I wonder if it looks the way I think it should look. Just individually, I don't know why I'm doing this. I know I can just go here and save all. Alright. Okay, what did I even just do? Okay. So I'm trying to get it so that he comes and runs over and shoots me, right? So when we should clear the target location. That is also one of the Blackboard things. So we clear it locally and we clear it through the PC up to the Blackboard. I think this is all going to be just fine. Nothing's going to go wrong. Come here, prick. He's on my shit, look at. Oh shit, I gotta run out of ammo. By the way, when I shoot him once and he comes charging at me fast, I believe I can get him out of that by just hitting him once. No? For some reason that's been happening. He's been slowing down out of nowhere, and I don't know why. He's supposed to keep charging at me really fast until he's dead or loses me. If I hit him once... Oh, I know why. I gotta hit him twice. Watch this. Okay, so he'll come at me, and then I'll try to hit him twice. Now he'll come slow. Why is that? Does anybody know? He's not charging me fast anymore. He's still on my shit, but he'll never go fast again. Remember, he doesn't turn around when we do it, when he's got food. But when he puts the food down, he's going to be certainly sore at me. That's alright. Here, you want to give yourself something to do here, buddy? There's a few of them to get through. Oh, see? Like I said, and he'll bite me too. And he bites pretty hard. You can see I have 89 health. I know you guys cannot see that, but that is 89 health. This one should be still chewing away. He's almost on the last one, man. He's quick. That certainly pissed him off. I think I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm getting some weird physics warnings and stuff, but it's working. It's working. I'm pleased. You know what, dude? You know what, man? That is all you, pal. You know what, dude? I'll even let your friend have one. You guys deserve it. You guys are worth it. Okay? What's one piece of cheese, guys? No, don't thank me. It's okay. It's okay. No, I know you're not supposed to give me an 11 out of 10. Okay? I only just gave you a little bit of life. That's it. Don't thank me. Yeah, that's cool. So, anyways, what are you guys doing later? Okay, well, what about you? What are you guys gonna do? Are you doing something interesting, or here's gone? Hey. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but was that kind of rude? I mean, I was just talking to you, and you're just... Oh. Oh, I get it. I get it. Oh, now I get it. So, you know, you give him an inch, right? You too. Now you're just going to take advantage. That's cool. That's cool.